Hello, hello. Right, today, what we're going to get up to, a bit more of Sveltekit stuff. I probably should take off pixel art on the schedule. Probably not doing any pixel art this week. I've got a few bits of Sveltekit that I want to get sorted, so that's going to be the focus. What we might do today, we started on a tutorial yesterday. Let's swap over to our dev screen, and also I can get rid of this message now. Let's shift these up to the top. That's good enough. Why does that not seem like it's the same size? It's probably not, is it? 1036, 1041. It's a bit closer. All right. Oh no, they're going to interact with each other because they're in the same group. Ooh. 1 second. Now it's off the top of the screen. Cool. Right, so yeah, we started on Joy of Code's tutorial yesterday. Learning everything we need about Sveltekit. So we've got API endpoints and loading data for pages and working with forms, which I think are both going to be very useful topics to cover. I also want to look a bit more detail into Pico, because Pico seems really good. And I just want to know a bit more about customizing it and what I should use and what I shouldn't use. So Pico is like kind of like Bootstrap, but basically covers a lot of CSS stuff for us. So we can do that. And then what else do we want to do today? Probably might have a look at the Svelte tutorial. Now I've gone through previously on the standard Svelte tutorial, which I'm sure was a different page before. Let's see if we just do learn Svelte and see where that goes to. It looks like they've updated the learn svelte.dev. Yeah, they've updated the tutorial. Okay, that's good. I just look for Svelte. Svelte.dev. So this is the standard Svelte website. And then there's a tutorial here. Oh yeah, so this is the standard Svelte tutorial that I've done before. I haven't done all of the lessons, but a good portion of them. But it looks like they've released a Sveltekit based tutorial. So a few different parts here. Let's see how. Oh, wow, it looks like there's a lot to get through as well. So maybe we'll work our way through this as well. This looks like it'll be very useful. Or we might just jump into a new repo and just play around and make some stuff. We could like maybe design a website for me and have a look into that. That could be a good template. So where do we want to start here? I think we should start by continuing on with what we're already doing. In which case, we want to open up Sveltekit day 3, because that was what we were doing yesterday. And this was all the different parameters and all that kind of stuff. Right, so let's open up where we got to yesterday as well. Let's make sure we're on the right Chrome instance. And we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure it's passing in these as intended. So what we're going to do, we just can control click on it. And it should open up. Here we go. Right, so we got home and posts, and then in posts we had 1 and 2. And we also had create, and we were doing error messages and fallbacks and stuff like that. And we were also looking at the option to go to like images slash 300 by 500 to show that we were passing in parameters from the path name, and we could take them in our root ID as parameters for width and height. We also looked at path to. How do we do the path to? Maybe it was file. Maybe it was image. Let's have a look. What's our structure? Media. Media is what we're looking for. Media path to file, and showing that we could use the spread operator in the slug name as a catch-all. So it doesn't matter what's in this path to file bit. We know that the first part of the URL has to be media, and then the last 2 parts are called as separate variables, but we can capture everything in the middle as one input as our path to file. So if we added in like new height or something like that, height value, just as an example, this will then move the 300 into the path to file parameter, and might zoom in a little bit just so it's easy to see. It will set width to the value of 400 now, and height will be this new height value, which we see here, all as intended. So it's quite powerful being able to do that kind of stuff. And this was a test for our Pico button, which is way too long. Why is it so long? Oh, because it's offset. Yeah. Right, so I think we're going to continue with this Joy of Code tutorial. This one's an hour long. Now the thing is, we do want to get into API endpoints and forms at some point, but I think this is the more complicated side of it. And I think what I might do actually, instead of going back into this, we want to mess around with making some more standard components that we're going to be using on all of our sites. So like nav bars and image containers or media containers. General layouts, I think, which will include having to look at Pico and customizing. So actually, saying that, I'm going to come back to this And by that time, there might be more as well. So yeah, we're going to come back to this one. Pico, I do want to have a look at. But how do we... I basically want to figure out how to just set the accent colors. Which I assume is quite easy. But it also depends on... It's going to depend on... It's going to depend on light and dark mode, isn't it? Which I'm sure Joy of Code has gone into again in this previous example. So looking at the documentation, example site, customization using variables, customized using Pico. So we did run through this yesterday, but let's have another look at this. And also I need to make sure that I'm capturing Chrome audio now, and that Spotify dips with Chrome audio. So let's just set that up. Right, this should pick up and it should dip the volume of Spotify.
Variables. Let's go. So you can go to customization, and here they show you an example and they generate some of them for you, which is really nice touch. I really like how this site is designed. So for example, if you like this color, you can go here and you can just override this primary color in the root, but since we're using light and dark mode, you're going to need to do a bit more. So here it generates this code based on the color you picked. And you can also look at those values. Let me just first copy this over. So this is based on the color you picked. And if I go here, I'm going to scroll to the top. And in our file here, app.css, this is how simple it is, and it should be to override values when you're using a CSS framework. So this is just saying data theme light is going to match the primary color to this color and all the other values you have. So this is for dark if you force it, and this changes the root for other CSS variables. Alright, so now if I'm here, I just need to press save, and boom, everything is updated to match that color. How awesome is that? Look at that. How simple and elegant is that? And you barely did any work. So you can find all the default values here on their GitHub. So this is their basic.
So I think important things for us to do are taking our own colors into the design and our own fonts. And that's probably it for the moment. We'll see how that goes.
Theme out of the box, you can see the default font family. So for example, if you want to change the font family, you can go to the root and then you can say font family, and then you can set it to Poppins, sans serif, or whatever you want. And then basically how you can do it. And we're going to look how we can override this theme, so you don't even have to do this. But yeah, basically that's how simple this is. So for example, maybe you don't agree that the default font size should be 16 pixel, you can say this should be 18 pixel instead. So if you go here and you say 18 pixel, go here, and see how it's bumped up. So for example, if we inspect the element, it's going to be a paragraph. Or it's not a paragraph, let me just see what is going on here. Oh, that's subheading, I'm silly. So let's go here, and let me just write this up so I can see variables. And here you can see these variables.
So I wonder if the subheading also changes by your default font size. Worth having a look.
You can even search font size. And you can see for the P tag, it's set to this font size, which is now 18 pixels. And if you scroll even down further, you can see all of these values. So you don't even have to look at their GitHub or the default theme if you don't want to. So these are all the same values here that we've seen so far. And that's really If you're afraid of CSS variables or never used them before, trust me, they're really awesome. Invest into learning them because, yeah, they're so incredible. And why I love CSS the most, to be honest.
Right, so let's have a quick look with our auto basic template. No. Is it preview? Where's the one with the color? Where's the one with the color setup? Classless? Examples? No. Customization. Here's the page, right? So, actually, we will go back to what we did yesterday. And we'll see if we can customize it. Run dev. And what we want to do actually, let's, while we're here, go into our TS, no, where is it? Package.json? Yeah. So we do run test instead of dev. We might hit the open. Which will open it here, but it should open a new window as well, I think. Or maybe it's just reloading this page. Hi, the producer. How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Right, so then we have a look at this, for example. Let's pick a color like this green, maybe, or the blue. Let me see. I want to have a look at some design here. Right, so we're looking for color probably like this, limeish, but we'll change it a slight touch. And then this automatically updates. I'm assuming, is this all svelte as well, in that case? Considering how quickly it updates here. Oh, it's just setting it's doing it through the variables as well. Smart. So maybe this isn't a svelte site. Feels snappy like it. Then we got an option here for light and dark mode. Okay, so we're going to copy all this. We're going to go over to our app.css and we're going to paste it in here. And just rather than this, so what we've got here, we've got this. This is slightly darker on hover. Yeah, we've just gone directly, by the looks of it, we've just gone directly down. Primary focus. Oh, it's got a transparency on it. Okay. It's just transparency on top of the primary theme here. HLSA. Actually, we should really use HLSA anyway. I think that's better practice. Can't remember why, but I remember doing it previously. So again, that's the same codes. Wish there was a quick way to do this. There probably is. That's all okay. That's all okay. RGB here. I mean, it's quite nice that you can just click on it to translate between the various types. And then what we want to do here is we're going to swap to a different code. Slightly similar. It's 73 CA 9A. And then we're going to do the same here. Wait, let's just, before we do that, let's just confirm. This line is the same as, no, it's not the same as that. How's that different? Seven CB 342, 7CB 342. So why do they come out as different values? Oh, they don't. Okay. Just me reading incorrectly. Okay, so all of these four are the same, aren't they? That's the same, that's the same. That's the same, that's the same. And the same at the top here? So this is the light scheme. This is the dark scheme. This is dark forced. Interesting. Okay. Right, so what was our code? 73CA 9A. And then for this one, we're going to copy the same. And then we're going to drop it down in darkness. Something like that. And then this is the same but with opacity. So 0.125. So what we can do here is convert this to HSL. Copy these values into here. And that'll do the same. And then we can leave white as the same. So then we just got these four to replace in all of these. And we're going to save that. And then when we look at our site, we've got our new color in. And that works in these locations. That's good. Okay. And then the other thing to look at is our, is it called personalization or something? Themes and related settings. That's probably the right settings. So we go to colors and we go off of dark mode. And there are our colors still. It's not as easy to see on this on light mode, but we'll go back to dark. Cool. Right, so that was simple enough. Now the next thing I want to do is to test fonts primary, right? So we went into here and we said font family is gonna be, let's do Montserrat. Then what's a good fallback for Montserrat? Let's have a look. Montserrat fallback. Oh. Just sans serif, really. Okay, so just the sans serif. By the looks of it. Let's just have a quick look at Montserrat. Yeah, it's got to be a sans serif. And actually, while we're here, let's have a quick look at our font standard. So here in our standard setup, we're overwriting the primary. Font should be here, right? Font family here. I think we just want it to fall back to sans serif. Let's see what other sites are doing. Let's just do that. So we do Montserrat sans serif. And then we have this open. Let's put it on the right hand side and let's put this on the left hand side. So when we save, is that the right font? How do I tell which font is used? I know we can go and compute it and we can see that it's taking this. Okay, what if we get rid of Montserrat in this list? That looks the same. I think you can get extensions, can't you? Manage extensions. And then here, open web store. And then fonts identifier. Not very many ratings for a lot of these. I'm sure there's got to be one with more. Read a view? No. Font finder. Let's see what that says. Well, this seems to be the most used. Oh, 400,000 plus, 40,000 plus users. Okay, that's fine. Let's give that a go. Add the extension. And then it should show up here. Click the extension icon to find the font. Okay. So we go here, and we click this. And click this. Font being rendered is Helvetica. Why is it giving me Helvetica? Do I have to include? Do I have to include the right font or not? Web dev. Font not rendering correctly. Best practices for fonts. Okay, web.dev. Okay, delayed rendering. Layout shifts, okay. Font loading, fonts are typically important resources, okay. Right, gonna learn about fonts then. Before diving into best practices for font loading, it's important to understand how font face works and how this impacts font loading. Font face declaration is an essential part of working with any web font. At a minimum, it declares the name that we use to refer to the font and indicates the location of the corresponding font file. Okay. Common misconception is that a font is requested when a font face declaration is encountered, but not true. By itself, font face declaration does not trigger font download. Rather, a font is downloaded only if it's referenced by styling that is used on a page. For example, actually using, okay. Open Sans would only be downloaded if the page contained an H1. Okay, that's fine. Other ways are using preload and font loading API. Okay. Inline font declarations. Most sites would strongly recommend benefit from inlining other critical styling. Sure. I don't want to go to third party for the fonts. Site loads, yeah. So to avoid things like cookie policies and all that kind of stuff, it's probably better to self-host, I think. Font delivery, faster font yields, delivers faster text rendering. In addition, if a font is delivered early enough, it can help eliminate layout shifts resulting from font swapping. On paper, using a self-hosted font should deliver best performance as it eliminates the third-party connection. However, in practice, the performance differentiates between two options of a less clear cut. For example, Web Almanac found that sites using third-party fonts had faster render than fonts that used first-party fonts. Right, why? I guess this is why? Time in milliseconds. What's LPC? Last content paint, okay. Oh, first and last content paint, okay. Do you want to deep dive into this? I feel like this is a rabbit hole of time that we probably don't need to really look into. The main benefit of not using third party, of self-hosting, is you're not sending information, which includes like tracking information, to third party sites. Use only WAF 2 and forget about everything else. Okay. Okay, do we want to download Montserrat fonts? Let's go here. Open license format, that's fine. So we can download the family. I'm sure there was a way to see the setup as well. Fastest font to deliver is a font that isn't requested in the first place. System fonts and variable fonts are two ways to potentially reduce the number of web fonts used in your site. System font is the default font used by the user interface of a system, the user interface of a user's device. System fonts typically vary by operating system and version. Because the font's already installed, the font does not need to be downloaded. System fonts work well for body text. Okay, so our body text should use standard. How does it say about web hosting, self-hosting? Now, let's have a look. I'm sure we've done this before on a previous site. So let's see if I can find that. Let's see what we've got in this file here. What's this? Oh, that's our font finder. That can close. So no WAF file. Only TTF files. Okay, let's see. Can we get Mon Sarat off to? Open font license. Permissions, commercial use. No limitations, no warranty. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we just go for the regular for the moment. And then can we dump that straight into here? Let's just put it in static for the moment. And then do this in our style tag. So let's just put this at the top here somewhere. So we're going to call this Montserrat. And it's going to go in this URL. Right, and then if we save that, do we now have the right font here? Inspect font on this page, this one. Still rendering Helvetica. Oh, go away. Does it just not have... How does it not have this on here? I think it's incorrect in what it's finding here. Maybe let's have a look for another extension. Let's give this one a go. Yeah, sure. I'm going to assume it's exactly the same. They would be called the same thing. Font Finder. Let's remove this other one from Chrome. Right, actually, here's a good test. Right, what font is this? 100%, okay. Now, what font is this? Helvetica? What? This font is not available on this machine. Why? What am I doing wrong? Can we do this without quotes? Ah, okay, right. Get rid of static. Ooh, this looks different. Wait, okay. We are now showing the correct font. And that's not because we've done this, I don't think. What we do it in... We do it in quotation, like we had before. Does that break it again? Oh, it has a little load. That looks good. But when we first load the page... Not sure there. Is it getting it from this though? If we don't have the font face in there, does it break? Yes. Defaults to Helvetica. Okay. Which I'm assuming is my default sans serif. So, we leave this back in. And yeah, we have Montserrat replacing our current font. And we're self-hosting it because it's included in the website. Cool, okay. It's a little bit annoying that there's a slight load of the other font first, but that's fine. Okay, yeah, I think we're quite happy with that. How about background? Let's close out these other things here. Right, so what's coloring the background here? Just the page in general? Background. Var background color. Oh, actually, and the other thing I wanted to test was... So why do we need these separate? If we're saying in the root, so with the root element, the primary variable color is this, which is the same in the dark. So why can we not just put root here? Like, what happens if we just put these four directly in here? And then we comment all of this stuff out. Comment. Gonna do another comment around it all? No. That's annoying. So we're gonna have to comment them out individually. You, and you. So common styles now. And it doesn't take it. Is this because we've put this in the root now? Which we don't see here. Why do we not see it? I think it's because the CSS selector for the dark and light is more specific than where we're setting our own color. Yep. So here we're setting it in root. And these are our colors here. But the issue is that in the more specific selector here, primary is being written into. Okay, that's fine. So we can take that out and we save and we go back to our version that we want. Okay. Right, so do we have an option for background? So when we had a look here, we have a variable called background color. And probably this muted color and muted border color that we want to have a look at. So let's say we've got this background color here. And instead of the one standard here, what if we want a slightly different? So 00284C. Okay, so we do this and we save. That seems to have worked. It might be a case here to take a copy of this repo that has all the descriptions and the examples. Like, how are they doing their own image here? It's quite a good setup, actually. So if we have a look lower down here, where's... Oh, got a color picker. That's cool. Where's the accordion section here? Articles are quite interesting here. They've got an automatic set of padding, slight box shadow, right. I think this is the next thing we want to look at then, is how about in posts? We put in here article. Does Emmett not know about articles? Emmett must know about articles. Wow, maybe not. Surely. Oh no. So in here, let's do an H2. This is an article. And then a P tag, which is lorem. Right, and then if we go to our slug test, so posts and then random, we get our article. It's a bit weird having the box shadow go into a different color. So what's the background color here? Why is that different? So we're looking specifically at the article. Where's our background? It is on the article, right? Yeah, it's got to be. Color is the font color. Color scheme. Box shadow is just a shadow without the color. So where is this color selection coming from? That's the question. Card background color. Here we go. Ah, and if it's the same color as the background, you don't see the box shadow at all. Right. Card border color is the same as the card background color. So what if we take this? Oh, there's loads of different... It's a shame it's not based on your base color. So we go back to our app CSS here and we say background color like this, but instead of this we bring it darker, something like that. Let's see what that looks like if we put it in L3. Let's put this off to the right and we'll save it. That looks alright. Right, okay. I'm going to do a quick break here, actually. We've been playing around a little bit with this. When we come back, what we're going to do, we will maybe look at some more of these articles and options here. Although I think we come back to this. I think this is all fine. We've got options here of whatever we want to set up. So if we want to make a form that has a search function or a text function or a drop down select, that kind of stuff, we can just come in here and have a look at how they've set up on the preview. I feel like there was another preview as well, wasn't there? There was extend, we love classes. Tooltips. Tooltips are cool. Right, here we go. These are the interesting bits. So yeah, if we want a card. Use header and footer inside article. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure I like this box shadow here. I think you can get rid of the secondary, the larger one here. Would be my recommendation. It looks fine on light mode because it's a lot harder to notice. I don't know if it shows up on stream, but there's a very clear like set of lines here as it merges into the background color. Oh, this is all done automatically. That's cool. Okay, yeah, when we come back, we'll do like a 5-10 minute break here. When we come back, we're going to look at navs. We're going to make a nav for our site. I know we kind of started on it with these ones and these ones, but the fact that it's automatically sorted as well is quite useful to know. Cool. All right. Back in a few minutes. Probably let's just do 5. That should be all right. Back in a sec. Right. Sorry about that. We are back now. There is some stuff I just want to have a look at quickly. But let's jump back over to our dev page. So what are we going to look at? I think we're going to continue listening to this.
So let me just close this since we don't need it.
Because we figured out how to change a few things, but it might be an easier way to have a look at this, the full customize option that comes later.
And as we can look here, here's just the theme. So these are the CSS variables. And then it does some responsive things. So the font size changes based on their media queries that they use based on Bootstrap media queries. Here are some opinionated things that you might not like. So if a header is descendant of body and etc. main footer, then it's going to give it a spacing just so you don't have to style. This is really great if you're working on demos where you just want some nice default styles out of the box. Maybe if you're working on a more serious project, you really want to control those values yourself and you can override them in that case. So we have dialog article, and then you have font weight for the default headings, and the typography spacing for the H1. As you've seen, each of them has a margin, right? And then you have a font family for your monospaced font, and here are the values if the data theme is light. And basically, it looks like a lot, but it's really not, and it's really easy to understand. And yeah, here are the dark values, and that's basically it. So let me just close this, and talking about customization, we can use Sass the best way it's intended to generate our own Pico CSS theme. So as they say in the documentation, we recommend customizing Pico by importing Sass files into your project, this so you can keep Pico up to date. And then it goes on and it says at the end, compile the Sass file to CSS to get a custom version of Pico. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in a second. And it says here, compiling a custom Sass version allows you to create a lighter version with only the components that are useful to you. So here it shows you an example of Pico Slim. So this is the file that it generates the Pico CSS styles from. So as you can see here, some options, and then here are the variables, themes default. So here they're not using everything, you have the layout document and etc. Instead of talking about it, let me just show you. Alright, so here's how we customize Pico. First you're going to go to their GitHub and then you're going to clone the project. So you can just go to the code here, you can git clone it or use the GitHub CLI if you want, because you're going to build the CSS file from the Sass files, as you can see here. And also since we're here, we can be assured that this project is actively being developed, since we can see the last update was 2 months ago or etc. and the issues aren't sky high and there seems to be a lot of buzz and activity here, so that's really good to know. And then basically I just cloned the project here, and on the left side in the sidebar, this is all of the files for the site, for the docs and etc. And here is the output in the CSS folder, so we can even delete this because this is going to get generated. And here is the only place you're interested in, so you have SCSS, you have components here, content and etc.
Right, sorry, I wasn't really paying too much attention there.
Responsive things, so the font size changes based on their media queries that they use based on Bootstrap media queries. Here are some opinionated things that you might not like, so you even have to look at GitHub or the default theme if you don't want to. So these are all the same values here that we've seen so far. And
yeah, this was the thing we wanted to look at. If we change the font size like this, font size to 18,
afraid of CSS,
it doesn't trickle down to the other.
They're really awesome. Invest into learning them because yeah, they're so incredible, and why I love CSS the most, to be honest. So let me just close this since we don't need it. And as we can look here, here's just the theme. So these are the CSS variables, and then it does some responsive things. So the font size changes based on their media queries that they use based on Bootstrap media queries. Here are some opinionated things that you might not like. So if a header is descendant of body and etc. main footer, then it's going to give it a spacing just so you don't have to style. This is really great if you're working on demos where you just want some nice default styles out of the box. Maybe if you're working on a more serious project, you really want to control those values yourself and you can override them in that case. So we have dialog article, and then you have font.
Yeah, I'm sure as well. Previously, when I've done websites, now I'm not sure this is best practice, but I'm sure I do media queries based on EMs because then it takes into account a user's default font size, right? So if I went into settings here in Chrome and I said my font size, no theme, where is it? It'll be in appearance, won't it? No, not themes. Then let's go to appearance. And yeah, if we change our font size to very large and refresh this, this hasn't changed at all, right? But if I go to, let's say, this page, even though we haven't zoomed in at all, we're still changing our font based on the user's settings. Now, I'm not sure if it's just because I haven't looked at this properly, but this would be something that I think Pico should change 100%. Its font sizes should not be in pixels. Now, it does have EM here. So where's our font sizes in here? Should just be in the root, right? Font size 16. Yeah, 17, 18, 19, 20. Where is the actual font size? 20 pixels. So we go back to here. Let's look for this. And we'll filter it by that. Okay, so it's using rem. So why is that not changing based on my font size option? If we inspect it again, so confused why that's not changing. See, that changes it. And if we change this instead of 20 pixels to 20 rem, okay, that's way too big, but like 1.2. Even 1 rem. Does that then adjust based on this setting? Yeah, it does. Maybe Pico isn't the way to go. I really do like it. But it feels like it's missing some accessibility options. I wonder if they've stated why. No dependencies, responsive, and elegant. I'd love to know what the design decision is around not doing. Let's have a look at these. Right to left. They've thought of so many different things. It feels like they've just forgotten about people's options. Does not support any version of IE, that's fine. Let's see issues. Okay, so the Pico's still a work in progress. That's mainly the Yeah, okay, maybe Pico, it looks really good, but maybe it's not quite ready yet. Might use it as a starting point. I wonder why no one's mentioned it. It's kilobytes. The principal check circle. Add a submit button for search field. UX with radio. Ready to CSS code. Hamburger menu. Feature request. Toast alerts. Tag labels. Is it something that I've been doing wrong? The other question is, maybe we just look at the CSS. This or slim. And we just go in and edit some various bits that we need. So we can come in and tweak this. This can't be too big. I know it's a big-ish file. But it is all in the right direction. Oh, I don't like the use of important either. That's a bit of a red flag for me. I understand it's important in some situations, but should be able to avoid it. I wonder how much of this is served in our browser. If we look at our network, clear that and refresh it. Sort by size. Pico min. So it only takes a millisecond to download. It's not really an issue. Maybe, maybe not. I do really like the styling. God, I'm a bit stuck now. I was hoping to go all in with this, but I'm not sure now. Let's just have another look here,
for the default
because I think Joy of Code
spacing for the H1
did mention why
it has a margin, right?
they download the projects
and
instead.
You have a font family for your monospaced font, and here are the values if the data theme is light. And basically, it looks like a lot, but it's really not, and it's really easy to understand. And yeah, here are the dark values, and that's basically it. So let me just close this, and talking about customization, we can use Sass the best way it's intended to generate our own Pico CSS theme. So as they say in the documentation, we recommend customizing Pico by importing Sass files into your project, this so you can keep Pico up to date. And then it goes on and it says at the end, compile the Sass file to CSS to get a custom version of Pico. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in a second. And it says here, compiling a custom Sass version allows you to create a lighter version with only the components that are useful to you. So here it shows you an example of Pico Slim. So this is the file that it generates the Pico CSS styles from. So as you can see here, some options, and then here the variables, themes default. So here they're not using everything, you have the layout document and etc. Instead of talking about it, let me just show you. Alright, so here's how you customize Pico. First you're going to go to their GitHub and then you're going to clone the project. So you can just go to the code here, you can git clone it or use the GitHub CLI if you want, because you're going to build the CSS file from the SAS files, as you can see here. And also since we're here, we can be assured that this project is actively being developed, since we can see the last update was 2 months ago or etc, and the issues aren't sky high and there seems to be a lot of buzz and activity here, so that's really good to know. And then basically I just cloned the project here, and on the left side in the sidebar, this is all of the files for the site, for the docs and etc. And here is the output in the CSS folder, so we can even delete this because this is going to get generated. And here is the only place you're interested in, so you have SCSS, you have components here, content and etc. So you can change this Pico CSS or you can change their Pico Slim example. Let me just collapse this. And if you're curious what any of this does, in my case I can just press Alt and I can click on variables, but it might be Control for you in your editor or whatever operating system you're using, and they're just going to lead you to the file where this is located. So here is a great way where you can turn on and off features you like. So you can disable the spacing for header, main, footer, so you can just say false if you want. And then you can also do that for these other elements. Disable or enable responsive typography. See classes, if you don't want to use grid, just disable it. Transitions, being able to use important. You can even change the breakpoints here, so you can input whatever you want and it's going to generate styles based on that. So yeah, keep variables in.
What was the thing about responsive typography? Is that default to true? Fixed root element size if disabled. Okay, no, that's not what we want.
Disable or enable responsive typography. See classes, if you don't want to use grid, just disable it. Transitions, being able to use important. You can even change the breakpoints here, so you can input whatever you want and it's going to generate the styles based on that. So yeah, keep variables in. These at the top are just the same variables from this file that are just here as an example. So let's say for example theming default, and you can go here and remember this is what we looked at. So here are the variables default colors, and now you have in the theme default styles, and now you can change the font family. So for example, if you really don't want this or want something else, you can say hey, default should be Poppins with a fallback sans serif. Maybe you don't agree with the font size, you want to say 18 pixels. And then you can also change these other things if you want, and now you create a custom style for your site or whatever, which is really awesome. So you have the default here, and in my case let's look at the document. So this is just some reset based on normalize. I would love to keep that, but for my example I might not care about sectioning. I don't want any spacing for the container. I want to create my own utility class. Same for section. I don't really want their grid, I don't want their scroller. I want their typography because it looks gorgeous and I can change it. So here's some styles for audio canvas iframe, which is really useful because there's a lot of discrepancies between browsers and how these elements behave. So this just does everything for you. And here are the styles for the buttons, which I want. Forms, yes please. Table, I rarely use tables to be honest, but yeah, let's just keep it. Who knows? Maybe if you need it. Accessibility, of course, and then it also has this useful for reducing motion. So if the user has motion sickness or whatever, they can just reduce it. And yeah, basically that's how you do it. You can use these variables at the top, and you can also disable these sections if you want. Okay, so the big important question, how do you output the CSS? So if you go to package.json, we can look at the commands that they expose. It looks like a lot, but a lot of it is not relevant to us. So there's watch. You can run build. This is going to build everything from the docs.
Let's just test something as well. Does YouTube react?
Their documentation. So let's.
Does YouTube not change its own font sizing based on the user settings? I wonder if we do it in personalization here. Can we change font sizes? Fonts. This is to set our default font. Oh no, this is just our list of fonts, right? Yeah, because it's got our comic arcade and stuff like that. Maybe in themes. Oh wait. Okay, so maybe if the user is using that to change their font sizes instead. So they've got it set in the operating system rather than on Chrome. I don't know.
Let's get started. You can install it by npm, so I just did install Pico CSS, and then in Sveltekit here,
we jumped back here.
based on that. So yeah.
So we're going through
The
here.
user has motion sickness or what? Okay, so the big important question, how do you output the CSS? So if you go to package.json, we can look at the commands that they expose. It looks like a lot, but a lot of it is not relevant to us. So there's watch. You can run build. This is going to build everything from the docs, etc. You don't really want that. Here is build docs. You can also just search for Pico. So you can just say build Pico, and this is going to run the compile step for Pico. It's going to prefix everything and it's going to minify Pico. So that's probably what you want. But you can also do CSS compile Pico, and that's just also going to just compile Pico. So if we go to the terminal, let me just open it here. And let me just see, I'm just going to say move panel to bottom so you can see what's going on. And then I can say pnpm run, and I'm going to say build Pico, and give it a second, it should be done. Sweet, so that's it. Okay, let me close the terminal. I can close package.json. Remember, we're outputting Pico Slim, so let me close this. I'm going to open the sidebar, and now the output in your CSS folder should be here. Here is the theme. And now you want to open Pico Slim, remember, because that's the one we changed. And now you can see here your modified own customized Pico CSS file. You can see the font family is Poppins, the font size is 18 pixel. And if I scroll here, let me just see. Now you don't have some other things like those spacing for elements and etc. And this is how simple it is to customize Pico, and I absolutely love it, and I think it's one of my favorite CSS frameworks for Svelte. Alright, so I hope you love Pico just as me, and if you...
Okay, so we'll probably do that at some point. Do we want to do that now? Yeah, let's do that now. Pico... Well, this is our Pico repo. Did you just clone the whole Pico repo? Is that what we did? Pico to get?
Clone it.
Yep. Okay, so let's close out this. We don't need this anymore. In here, when we've been playing around, we're going to do a new repo. So we're going to stop our Svelte server running. And then we're going to go up a level. We're going to do git clone. And we're going to grab this code. And that's going to make us a Pico folder. Okay, and then we cd into Pico. And then we'll open up an instance of VS Code there. So we've got the same setup as we saw. So the CSS is the output. The Sass is our input. And then these are all of the different themes, colors, etc. So we look at Pico Slim. This will tell us where everything is, so we can control click to go into the folders. This is where we can set which default element is the root, which we might change from body to main in Svelte. And then here, I think I want to change these into EMs and REMs, etc. when we need to. Yeah, we go into the typography here. Reboot based on normalize and sanitize. Okay. See, look, this is doing font sizes based on EMs. So these all look okay. REMs and EMs used all over the place. That's good. What I would say. So where is... Yeah, we got these breakpoints. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for themes default, maybe. It's still the same, yeah. Colors. These are the options available. So that would be where we tweak for customizing colors. Styles, here we go. So why pixel based is what the main query here is. So look, we've got font sizes here properly. Border widths are fine as pixels. And these are okay font sizes for code. I reckon we just replace these font sizes here. And yeah, okay, so once we run that, we can then take our...
Yeah, let me close the terminal. I can close packaging. The font size is 18 pixel.
We take this and dump it in as just a CSS file. Yeah, okay. That's what we want to do. Right. I think I might do short stream again today. I do have some other work I need to get on with that I won't be able to do on stream as much. And I think I want to just try this, but with that. So I feel like I'm just going to wrap up here. So it's been a short stream today, mostly just looking into Pico. Actually, let's just do a quick test with this. Well, while we're almost at that point. So instead of 16 pixels, we set this as 1 REM. And then we can have a look at the pixel to rem converter. The 16 should be 1, yeah. And then as we go up, we press left or right. What's the left or right do? So 17.63, 18, 19, 20. So, okay. So this should be 1.25 REM. This one was 1.125 REM. This one here, (17) is a weird one. 1.063. And 19. 1.188. Okay, so if we save that, and we also say in our colors, where's the colors? Where does gray hue and primary hue come from? They're down here, right? Black, white, amber, green, red. Where are these SAS colors coming from? Import functions. I think that is from the SAS function, right? Let's search for this term. Find all references. No, let's just do here. Search here. Gray hue. It's 205. Okay, so this is the default. So if we, oh, not like that. If we copied this into this position here, then we'll see what color this is. And what is our default color? Get rid of that search. So primary 600, where does primary come from? Where are we getting that from? Not in these maps, we don't care about those. Here we go. So this is our light blue primary hue. So this is the color that is the default color, right? Let's see if we put that in. Do we get that blue? Yeah. So that's the Pico primary color. But what we can do is just change this. So what was our other? Let's, for example, take the one that we did here, which is this primary color. So 147. Oh, 4562. It's going to be different, isn't it? Because that will give our primary hue this, which is too saturated for what we want here. Probably quite close to this kind of stuff. So weird having KK Slider stuff come on. Let's just skip that one. So there's a whole load of tweaking here. I mean, I like the fact that there's basically variants on the default hue, and then you can use these throughout the classes. But I think what I'd probably do is set a default HSL here as the grey hue, and then do some function to output these, which might be what's happened actually. Because like here, what does this look like if this is 147? We get a very dark, deep color. Yeah, there's definitely something we can do around this. I think it would be along the lines of using this as a default starting point, Pico, and editing to create something that's more suitable for what we want to use it for. I'm thinking along the lines of I can just set I should just be able to set here our core color of our site as our primary color, and then automatically generate highlights and lowlights comparatively compared to that color that can be used for borders or for highlights and all that kind of stuff, and maybe even a complementary color or a secondary color, and everything else be generated based off of that, which I think this is what this is doing. So let's just confirm that we have understood with this just by setting this default color as different. So we're just going to say overridden. Let's see this. Overwritten. And what was the default? Actually, let's put that in. We'll copy this. And we want 147. So let's undo all of this. 195. So overwritten default equals 195. And we're going to change this to 147. We're going to save. We're going to close the other files. And then we're going to open up our terminal here. We are probably going to have to do an npm install. Do we need to? Maybe not, actually. Let's double check what Joy have coded. So when they cloned the repo,
all of the files for the site for their doc.
they've got node module folder here. Oh, no, the other. Yeah, we don't have a node module folder here. So I think what we want to do is pm install. We might need to update pm. And then what we're going to run is build Pico. Adding our 301 downloaded. No, more than... Okay. That looks good. And then we're going to do pm build run build Pico. And we want to delete our CSS output folder and then run it. And that should create a new CSS output folder with our updated styles, which it has. Give it another few more seconds. I guess silent tells it not to output anything to the terminal. Okay, so that's done. And then if we take our min, no, just the Pico file, right? So yeah, it looks like it's taken our versions here. And what we'll do, we go back to here. And all I'm going to do is in our src folder, we're going to add a pico.css file. We're going to paste our whole minified file in here. Maybe. Oh, it's not minified. What's to the bottom of this? What's all this rubbish at the bottom? Where's it starting? Source mapping. Oh, okay, that's fine. And then in our app.html? No, in our layout. Yeah, rather than doing this, we want to import .pico.css. Right, and then let's just have our own site available when this happens. So we should see nothing change here. But if we change our font sizes, no. Why not? Font size 2 rem. Which should now be based on the new font sizes, right? Why is it still getting those? What if we take these out entirely? What happens now? Something's different here. Wait, we're not even running our server. That's why this is a cached version, isn't it? Yep. Oh god. Right, that will be the reason. So let's put this on the left here. We're going to say npm run dev. And now on the right hand side, missing dev. Oh yeah, we're in Pico still. cd, what we're here, Sveltekit day 2 test. Day 3 even. And now we can run dev. Right now, this file should run, but doesn't have any CSS. Yes, good, okay. And then if we add in the new Pico CSS and save, updates, uses the new colors, and also is now responding to the user's font choices. Perfect, cool. Right, and then if we add in our own overrides, we should now get back to our colors. Cool. Right, that was mostly Pico stuff. I do feel like that's the way forward, is to create our own version of Pico overrides, because we're only working solo on these projects. Doesn't matter too much to follow along. But yeah, I think the main things that we're going to be working on, if we do that, is in these Sass components. We're going to look at a Pico Slim build for what we need. Only bring stuff in if we need it. Although Sveltekit's quite good at cutting out styles that aren't used, I wonder if it does trim loads of this stuff in Pico. Oh, it won't know what's not being used because it's a global style sheet. I know if you put the styles inside here, it will trim Sveltekit, or Svelte in general, automatically trims any styles that aren't referenced in the component. So I couldn't do here like a style tag for a, let's just say an H1 here, right? If I tried to put an H1 tag here and said color red, so that would make any H1s a red color. If I save this, it will tell us it's unused. And the way it works is when you build your project in Sveltekit or in Svelte, the compiled version would just have removed this entirely. But as you can see, H1's here, not affected, still the normal color. Whereas if we do that and take the same set and put it into, where's our default page? Here, and we do the styling here, then it doesn't get removed and we do get the color set. So we do this. What's this complaining about? Here. WebKit appearances, properties non-standard. Avoid using it. There's probably some stuff in here that we don't use. So the main issue with things like this is CSS and HTML and just web standards in general tend to change so frequently that what might be best practice now will change very soon. So having things fixed is going to be a bit tricky. But anyway, that's for another day to think about. So setting up a Pico library for our own website style would be good. It'd mean we weren't exactly the same as Pico as well, so you wouldn't get all the websites looking the same. I think that's something we're going to be looking into. Let's maybe make a note of that for something to develop on. Cool. Do I want to do some more here? I think I might do that for today. Again, for some reason, don't feel that motivated. I know I should just code through it and we'll see, but sometimes it's better just to stick to what we feel like. So yeah, played around with Pico a bit today. I think might just wrap up with this. And then I've got some other work that I've got to get on and do. So yeah, that'll be it for today. Sorry for the short stream. I hope it's been interesting. Mostly been looking at Pico. We'll probably put a little bit in the summary. Hey. Oh, sorry, Scooby-Doo. You just stand up. Yeah. All we've been looking at today is a bit more about Pico CSS. We haven't really got into the Sveltekit stuff. And I've also got some non-stream work that I've got to get done today, so it kind of all works in together for me quite well, unfortunately. But thanks for dropping by. How do you learn CSS? Ooh. Kind of just play around with it. As in from scratch, or like... I've basically been looking into Pico CSS, which is kind of like Bootstrap, if you know about web development ideas. I can show you just briefly. So like this is a site that we've started playing around with for the build. So you vaguely know Bootstrap, yeah. So you know in Bootstrap how you don't actually have to, like once you've loaded up Bootstrap, there's a library in the background of your website that kind of helps you, like it has default styling for things and you can go in and override it, but it basically does most things for you. So the idea with Pico is kind of the same, but more lightweight. So you could do stuff like, here we've just put a button element in. We don't have to worry about styling it. So let's say I put an article here. And in the article we have a header. So I can focus basically on HTML elements rather than worrying about putting classes and stuff like that in. So let's say test article. I hope this works now. And then we put a P tag. You try to learn through CSS Battle. It's hard to know what the tags to, yeah. Kind of just a case of reading up it. Don't know of any library that's down to earth. But let's say for example, I'm making an article here. And we put some lore and text in here. So now if I save it, we'll get an article here. But I haven't told it anything about this styling. And all I've done here is put in our basic article. If I turn off the Pico CSS file, you'll see the HTML does nothing, right? the HTML is purely for us to be able to target our styles. But with Pico included, it just gives us some default styling options. And then we put our own CSS on top of it for any overrides that we want to do. So if I turn that override off, this will show you what pure Pico looks like when it loads. Oh wait, no, it is looking like this as well because we've done some overrides as well. Yeah, it's just to give it some default styles. I think we're also probably doing some other overrides to make this full width. But yeah, it's more a case of making things look nice on the page automatically without having to worry too much. And then if you want to go in and edit, there's lots of ways to do it. But what's quite good is once you've... So to install it, you can just use npm. And then if you want to customize a specific part of it, they just give you an example here for like colors. But let's say we wanted an orange color. We'd, as our like primary color, we can just copy all of this code and we put this into, wait, if I get the right thing. We put this into our override CSS, which we did here before. And we paste this in and we save it. And then we go back to our file. We'll make sure that we're using our overrides. And we go back to our site. We've now got the orange coloring. So it's quite nice that they've got a few things set up for us. And this is showing you a demonstration of the styling of all the different HTML elements. So on their previews page, you can see here, like, okay, if we wanted to do a link in our text elements, we have options here. And what we can do is you just inspect here and you can see what the... Always had those blank white screens like you showed with disabled. Yeah. So that's because you hadn't got the CSS in. But yeah, this is showing us if we want let's say we want a primary link. So we don't have to do any styling on a link to get it to look like this and to interact like this. Yeah, there's all the demos on the site. It's quite good. So if we go back to our example, and where was our test article? So let's say we put just a plain old link here that's for home. Yeah, it looks good. They've done. Then we automatically get it. This is a link that we can click on. It has the hover effect of underlining. It changes. I'm not sure you can make it out on stream, but it goes slightly brighter in color when we're hovering. And that all is available out of the box. And we don't have to worry about any styling at all. But let's say we wanted one of those secondary links. Secondary. And we save it like this. We automatically get it there and available. And what were the other things they showed? Let's say we wanted a strike through. Oh, that's just an S. I didn't realize strike through is S. Let's do something more interesting. What's deleted? Deleted is this one, del. So yeah, this is quite good for learning the different HTML elements that you're looking for actually. Let's maybe have a look for this. Might be a bit more interesting. Label for invalid. Oh, I might have to set up some forms and stuff around that. So maybe not that at the moment. But we put a del tag over this. And notice. And then we save that. And we look back at our script here. Then we got the styling automatically. yeah, it's pretty nice. This is the link, and I'd also say watch along here. Joy of Code. It's really quite a good video to cover it. It's mostly what we've been looking at today and playing around with today. But yeah, I hope that's interesting. Thanks a lot for dropping by. But yeah, we're going to wrap up here. Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. Have a good one. I'll catch you next time. Cheers, bye.